Hey people, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today I want to show you guys how much money you can make farming breachstones and breaches in your maps. Now, I was doing the strategy for about 2 weeks now, and I've made my headhunter. I actually made 2 headhunters this league, just farming breaches. I feel like this might be the strongest mapping technique that you can do for making raw currency. Now, in about 2.5 hours of my stream, I have gone up from 9.7 thousand chaos orbs in my inventory to about 13,000 chaos orbs, which adds up to being roughly 3,000 chaos over 2.5 hours. Now, I was not very efficient. I was streaming, I was looking people's builds. You can definitely make more money than this, but for the time being, let's say I made about 1,500 chaos orbs an hour. Very good profits. That is almost 8 to 9 divines an hour. Farming the strategy is very fun. Unfortunately, it's a bit more click intensive because you have to pick up a bunch of splinters, but it's not that bad. It's not as bad as Legion, where you have to pick up a whole bunch of small currencies and then sell them. For this strategy, all of it was me farming currencies and splinters. I did not include any of my unique drops. I did not include any of the cards, any of the Skin of the Loyals that you can also get. Skin of the Loyal is a unique drop from breaches, which is a bit RNG if you get really good colors and if you get really good perks on your Skin of the Loyal, you'll be able to get fairly high returns for those drops. However, some of them cost 10 chaos and some of them can cost 10 divines. It really is fully RNG, which is why I didn't want to add any of those prices in my overall breakdown. I have sold multiple Skin of the Loyals this league for 10 divines, 15 divines, 5 divines. They drop fairly often. I would say you can drop at least 1 or 2 uniques an hour. And on a league start, you should probably be farming Ulnitols. Ulnitol drops a unique shield that can sell for 4 to 5 divines on league start, which is very, very good. Now, most of the money came from the Scarabs, from the Breachstones themselves. I went from having 2.7 thousand Chaos Orbs in the Breachstones to about 4.1 thousand. So we've made 1,500 Chaos Orbs in 2 hours just from the Breach strategy itself. I think it's fairly good. It adds up to being 700 chaos just for the splinters an hour, and that's roughly 4 divines an hour just on the splinters. Now, on top of my strategy, I was actually also doing beyond. Beyond spawns very, very commonly in breaches because you have such a high pack size and you have so many monsters they kill at the same time that I was continuously spawning beyond monsters and dropping a whole bunch of their currency. As you can see, I went from about 7,000 chaos in my currency stash to roughly 8.4 thousand. So that's where second half of my money comes from. 1,500 currency from the breaches themselves and 1.5 thousand currency from the small currencies, tainted currencies, and divine orbs. Now, divine orbs are actually quite common. I got very unlucky, I think, on my overall loot because I only got 3 divines in 2 hours farming breaches, and breaches are insanely good for spawning rare monsters. I have gotten many divine drops from breaches themselves. I have gotten many Lunaris touched monsters in my breaches before, which is why you should expect to get even more money from farming the strategy. During my stream, I have actually gotten 8 Exalt Orbs in just 3 Divines. However, it's still pretty good money, definitely worth doing. I'll show you my price breakdown. So this is what I spent per map, which is fairly cheap, I would think, comparatively to other mapping strategies. I spent 40 chaos per map. I spent 10 chaos per map on Chiyulo Sexton itself. I was buying the Sexton for 40 chaos for 4 uses, so it adds up to being 10 chaos a map. I bought a elevated sexton for additional 2 breaches every map. That cost me about 3 chaos per map, and you can buy it for 45 chaos for a 16 use sextant. I spent about 5 chaos orbs for the Scarab to get additional breaches, and I spent 6 chaos a map just to have a breach on my as I'm mapping. 6 chaos I was definitely getting back. Things like tainted fusings, tainted chromes sell for more than 6 chaos a piece now, and you can definitely make a huge profits doing beyonds if you can do it very efficiently. Now I can one-shot most of the beyond bosses, so I decided to do it. However, I was not doing the strategy before, I was not farming beyond before, and I was still making insane amount of money. Now, what you can expect per map is about 80 splinters in just splinters. However, you also have a chance of dropping a full bridgestone per every time you kill a boss. The boss spawns maybe 3-4 times a map, at least for me, and you can definitely make a lot more than this. So on average, you can make about 67 chaos just on the trio splinters. I made 60 chaos from the individual currencies and tainted currencies. Now, breaches drop a lot of currency. There are a lot of rare monsters, a lot of monsters in general that can drop you high valued items. Exalts, divines, even really good uniques, they all drop from breaches. I wasn't really doing any other strategies, that was my main strat, just beyond and breaches, and I was still making quite a bit of currency per map. Now, I was also using my 8 mod sextant. I did not include it to this map calculation because I was oversustaining all my maps and I was running them myself, so that was at a 0 cost. But all the maps I have gotten, I was going to be selling in the future, and I can make maybe 10 chaos to 20 chaos a map, just selling my maps back to someone else who runs them in bulk. I was actually farming Crimson Temples, and every Crimson Temple, if white, sells for about 4 chaos, and it sells for about 15 chaos to 10 chaos if it's at 8 mod Crimson Temple. But I did not include this into this calculation. I have not sold any of those maps yet, I will in the future, and I'll be making a lot more money from it. Now, as you can see, here is my tab. After 25 maps, I've gotten 24 Cheerio Bridgestones, 24 and a half. This is pretty good. That's definitely what you can expect. It's quite a bit of money. I think this might be the strongest strategy currently. It does not require you to have that much gear. I do have a headhunter. It is not very important to have a headhunter because most of the mobs are pushovers and you can one-shot the bosses pretty reliably. Now, if your build is not powerful enough to kill the breach bosses, you might wanna reinvest a bit more into it and see if it feels better. Chiula as a boss itself dies pretty fast. It's a lot weaker than the map boss that you're gonna have, so you shouldn't have a problem killing it. You shouldn't have a problem farming it. Now, in 25 maps, here's all the tainted currency I've made. I haven't been able to use it in the excellence to show you exactly what it is, but I was pretty much at 0 when I started. I got 41 tainted fusings, 41 chromes, 60 jewelries, almost 60 jewelries, 3 mythic orbs, and a whole bunch of whetstones and armor scraps. That was not very valuable. Also, I did not include any of the eldritch currencies into my calculations because I want to keep it as brief as possible in terms of the returns. You'll definitely make a lot more if you are juicing maps and if you're picking up eldritch currencies, if you're picking up uniques. There are a lot of really good uniques that they can drop. They now scale from rarity, and you can make a lot more money. What I found is that it doesn't really matter what map you run, so I decided to just farm Defile Cathedral. On average, in Dunes, I was getting about 80 splinters, and in Crimson Temple and Defile Cathedral, I was pretty much getting the same amount of Chiula Breach splinters. So if you want, you can run any map that you prefer. I like Defiant Cathedral because it drops a lot of really good divination cards, and because you're killing so many monsters and so many rare monsters, there's a pretty high chance of getting a Apothecary or any other divination cards. I have myself not gotten the one yet, but I have gotten the Enlightens, I have gotten the Mirror Shard divination cards, and I have gotten a whole bunch of other things that sell for quite a lot. Again, they're not part of my calculation. You can get very lucky or you can get very unlucky, which is why I'm gonna keep it out of my overall calculations. So on average, I would say you can expect about a 100 chaos a map just doing the strat. And even if you get lucky, you can farm way more. One map should take you about 5 minutes to run, so that adds up to being about 1,000 chaos an hour, maybe 1.5 if you are efficient. So 1.5 thousand chaos an hour would add up to being 8 divines. This strategy is very good. You should do it before you should do it before the market gets flooded, because the prices have gone down and they're back up now. I was selling my Chio Bridgestones at 55 chaos a couple of days ago because the market plummeted, and now I'm selling them, and I was still making money back then, but now I'm making even more money because they sell for 70c each. The Sextons are plummeting as well because there are so many people selling Sextons and so few people running them. And you can definitely make a huge margin profit on your investment. You'll absolutely gain more than you put in, and you'll make a whole bunch of profit. My build currently costs quite a lot. I have bought 40 divine jewels for myself. I've bought a headhunter, bought a bunch of other stuff. I was just messing around, and I'm have a steady income of currency continuously going to me because I'm doing the strategy. It's very chill. It is not as difficult or annoying as doing Delirium Mirror. It's actually more profitable than doing Delirium Mirror, and it does not require you to have something like a headhunter. It's way easier and way simpler. I have heard of people doing Elk and Go and still getting the same amount of splinters, so you can definitely just use that to your advantage. You don't have to roll your maps heavily like I do, even though I prefer to roll my maps heavily for additional returns, but you really don't need to, and you'll still be making a pretty good amount of money. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are gonna not tank the economy too fast for me, because I still wanna buy a Mage Blood soon, but I hope you can use this strategy to your advantage. I have been doing this for a couple of leagues now. I have always been making enough money to buy myself a headhunter or a mage blood fairly early on in the league. This league I took pretty relaxed. I haven't been farming that much, but I'm still having a headhunter, and I'm still having fun playing the game. So yep, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all very soon. Have a good night.